Today we're going to be replacing both transmission mounts in a 2007 Saturn Vue. This is the 3.5 litre, and let's get to it. Now the car I'm working on, it's a 2007 Saturn Vue. It's a 3.5 litre, but this exact same principles can apply if yours is between years 2004-2007. Now, how do you know if you have bad motor mounts? Well, first, visual check, but I appreciate that's pretty hard because motor mounts are very hidden and you can't simply just check them. It involves taking a lot of components out, but once you have them out, you can easily see if they're damaged. Except from the front one here, which is filled with hydraulic oil. Now, when that starts leaking, you'll get a visible oil leak, and that is a clear indication of a bad motor mount. And here is that exact mount for reference. This is filled with oil in here, and what happens is the gasket cracks from heat or whatever else really, and this starts leaking oil. So that's a clear sign that one's shot. Other mounts are made of durable rubber here, so what happens here is this is where the rear of the transmission's attached to the frame of the car, and this rubber just cracks and separates here, and then it's just kind of flopping around, and that causes vibrations. And talking about vibrations, you probably get vibrations or shuddering or clunking even when the engine is under load. So that's when accelerating from a stop or driving uphill. So what happens is you put your foot down because the car's in a resting state, say at a stop, it's putting more load on than gradually increasing your speed. So what happens is the engine starts moving around, and when it gets up to nice comfortable speed, it settles down. And that's a clear sign that your motor mounts are worn. And one more sign, which is a serious sign really, is when your car's idling, you open the hood and your engine is visibly bouncing or moving. Again, another sign. Now this car has 3 motor mounts. There's one under the airbox here. I have a video on this exact mount here, replacing it. I'll link it in the description below. Now there's 2 more. That's the motor mount. There's a transmission mount at the back and at the front. The front one is down here. You can see it there, right there. And at the back, it's right all the way through there. You see that sort of cylinder right there? That's the rear transmission mount, and that's what we're replacing today. The rear one and also the front one. So here's a tip. If one mount is gone, you've taken it off, it's visibly damaged, it's a good idea to replace all 3. I'll link the parts in the description below for this year, make and model of the car, but it's good practice. One's gone, the others aren't far behind, so it's good to get them all done at once. So the first mount we're going to do is the front oil filled mount. So let's get this started. You will need a jack, but only to take some of the load off the engine / transmission itself. So we're not going to be going under the car literally with this one. So believe it or not, the manual has you remove the battery tray, the starter even, just to get this mount out, which I think is quite ridiculous. We don't need to do any of that. What we're going to do, in a nutshell, unbolt these O2 sensor harnesses, just push them out of the way, then we're going to wiggle the mount out of the top. Very simple, very quick. Okay, for visualization, the mount's bolted in like this. We're going to take these 2 bolts off first, followed by these 2. They're all 15mm. We can get them from the top, so you'll need a nice long extension or a set of extensions with a 15mm socket on the end. Before we start unbolting anything, we're just going to slide the jack underneath. This will help alleviate some of the pressure, as when we undo the mount itself, the engine will start to sag a bit, obviously because it's being supported by less mounts on the car. So we're going to use this. If you have a metal jack or anything like that, put some wood or rubber on top. Last thing we want is bare metal pushing into the engine or transmission. I'm just going to put it under the transmission housing just here. And that's what you're aiming for, something like that, just to support it, not actually to jack it up. So with the extension all the way down, we can slowly take out the bolts, which are facing upwards. Now for the last bolt facing up, so there'll be the left side that way, you'll notice this sort of coil pack is in the way. I'm just going to introduce a U-joint halfway along, so about here, and then that will give us sort of like a bend halfway in our extension. So it looks kind of like that, but it will get the job done. So 4 bolts out, let's keep going. Next we're going to remove the top nut off here. I believe it's 20mm or 11/16 actually fits it really snug. So we're going to take this one off next. It'll be a deep socket because there'll be some threads exposed. So the top nut's off now. It was 18mm, but yes, you will need a deep socket to take that off. Now the mount is pretty much free, but it's locked in because there's a mounting plate that actually sits over the mount itself, so over the threaded bolt there that we just took the 18mm off, and the actual bar of the car itself. So what we need to do is undo the mounting plate. There's 3 15mm bolts, one at top middle and 2 at the bottom. I'll show you those now. So this is underneath the car. There's a bolt right there. I don't know if I can get my fingers in, but it's in the middle of the shot, and there's one just above it, about 5 inches above, which is partially undone. So that's the top one and the bottom left one. There's also one on the bottom right. So the best way to get those 3 bolts out is just get a small extension like here. So the sort of total length of this is around 5.5 inches, and go in from the top, and that's the easiest way to get all 3 of those out. So you can get the top and both bottom ones, and they're facing that way. So with the 3 mounting bracket bolts removed, we can start to take the mount out. So now the 3 bolts are out, you can pretty much just tug on this and the whole thing will be loose now. It won't go out the bottom because there's not enough room, so we're going to have to pull it out the top. We're going to take off this O2 sensor bracket here. It's a 14mm. The socket's on the bolt right now, the one you need. And we're just going to take that off, then we can move the whole bracket and this wiring out of the way. So there's not really a trick to this, just keep moving the bracket and the cables out of the way and slowly wriggle the mount up. Be careful of the hoses that go into the radiator and whatnot. Just slowly wheedle it out and it'll eventually come. Alright, so it's out now. One thing, you can actually separate these and leave this piece down there, then it's a lot easier to get this out. But you can see I got all of this out, so it is possible that you just a bit of careful manipulation. So here's the old one. You can see it's not visibly leaking, but it's really sagging a lot there, isn't it? And you know, there's not much. There's a little play in the top, so yeah, I suspect this one's almost there, you can see, but my main culprits were the airbox motor mount, and I'm sure this rear transmission mount too, because I was getting quite a violent shaking on acceleration. But you can see this one's on its way out, so now we're going to put the new one in. So I say new, yeah, this is from a pick and pull. I actually found one in really good condition. Pretty rare, otherwise you're going to be paying around $100 just for one of these, so this was $8. But you can see it looks pretty good, and I found a Saturn with low mileage with a rear end collision, so that's something to look for when sourcing used parts. So they look pretty much the same, you know, I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to now drop it in. So if you left the mounting bracket down there, that's fine, leave it down there. We're going to drop this down. If you brought it out with you, then we're going to send this down first because this goes underneath. As for orientation when putting these back in, you can see there's a little metal piece sticking down there. That'll only go in one way. If you put in that way, the bolts don't seem to line up. Turn around this way, so this metal piece is in the extra hole that's been allocated for it, because there's one on each side. It will fit in perfectly, so it's pretty easy to know which way it goes. You won't be able to mess that one up. Now putting this back together is pretty much the opposite, so I'm not going to bore you with it. I might put it back together in opposite order, so I'm going to bolt down the mount first and then do the frame, just so this isn't moving around while we're attaching the frame, and then actually do the O2 sensor bracket last. You might want to do this first when you do it. It didn't really bother me, but it could get in the way. Now the bolts, that's the mount to frame bolts, so the transmission mount to the actual frame, they're 37 foot-pounds, they're the ones facing up. So we're going through the torque specs now. The mount bracket bolts, that's the ones sort of facing this way, mount to bracket, right? So these 3 bolts, 37 foot-pounds, and the top nut, which actually sits on the mount itself, that 18mm top nut, that's 64 foot-pounds. So for anything that could loosen due to vibration, I recommend some medium strength Loctite. That's the blue one. I'll link everything in the description below. And just put a tiny little bit on the thread, so what, maybe 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters, just a little sliver here, and that will prevent this from undoing while you know, while you're driving around. On mine, the actual top bolt on here, that's this one here, was actually half undone, so it can happen, you know. So yeah, I recommend medium strength Loctite when putting on these bolts. Okay, so the mount's in now. We're just going to put the mounting bracket on there and bolt that in. Anything with a large surface area, I recommend tightening in a crisscross pattern, so bottom left, top right, etc. And it just ensures a nice snug fit and flattens nicely. So now we have the mounting plate on. It's a little fiddly, just thread all 3 bolts so you know it's going on evenly, and then crank them all down sort of either in a crisscross or, you know, that kind of pattern. You might need to play with the jack to play around with the engine to get it perfectly lined up. It's really fiddly, but you know, you'll get there in the end. Now we're going to tighten down the 18mm bolt here. So now just put the O2 sensor bracket back on, the 14mm there, and we're done. That's the first engine / transmission mount done. So this is what a leaking one might look like. You might have lost all your fluid, or it could just be leaking, or there's a small puddle on the driveway. So yeah, that's sort of, you know, how it works really. So now we're going to take on our rear transmission mount, so let's get started with that. So let's get the car and jack stands, so we'll just put them on the body of the car at the front, remove both wheels. I've chopped off the back wheels and applied the parking brake. Just give the car a little shake, make sure it's nice and sturdy, then we can get started. So when doing the rear mounts, I recommend just opening the hood, that way you get some sunlight in here and you can see a little bit better what you're doing. So like the front mount, we're just going to use the jack to support the engine / transmission, so when we take the mount off, the load isn't going to, you know, sag and cause any damage. So slide that back there and just support it just like we did before, just like that. Perfect. So coming in at the driver's side, we're going to remove this sway bar end link because we'll need to rotate the sway bar, stabilizer bar right here, to get the mount actually out of the vehicle. So we're just going to remove this bolt. It's 18mm and it should just come off easy, and we'll just push the sway bar end link out. So with the end link out, you can check the play, you know, maybe it's a good time to check this. If it sort of balances like this by itself, you know, it's probably good. Check the boots as well, make sure they're not leaking or anything like that. If it's kind of just flopping down like that, it might be time to replace these. It'll increase body roll, so when you go around corners, your car will be swaying less, and that's sort of how the sway bar works. So good job to test these at the same time. So coming on the passenger side, we're going to do the exact same thing with the bolt here. With these sway bar end links, especially when tightening them, you'll need like an Allen key or something like that to keep the bolt steady, and then you can use the wrench on the outside to actually move the bolt. Otherwise everything will move together. So that's usually how these are tightened and whatnot. So you see, you just pull them against each other and then it will rotate. So with both stabilizer end links removed, you'll see the whole stabilizer bar moves freely now, and that should give us a lot more clearance to pull the mount out. Now for visualization purposes, the first bolt we're going to remove is this one that goes through. That's 18mm. The way to get rid of that one, get a really long extension, as long as possible, then we can just undo it out here, no problem. Okay, so with it connected, go over the stabilizer bar itself there and just through this slot, and that will give you a nice level line up on it, and just undo it. It's torqued down pretty hard, so have a nice long sort of ratchet on that and it should come off easily. So with the through bolt removed, we're now going to take out the 15mm. It's this one and this one on the driver's side. I'm just going to use a standard wrench for that. So the 15mm, yeah, just stick a standard wrench through. They're not really on that tight at all, so you might be able to just lever it. It might help to climb under the car and just pull your wrench to sort of break it, but again, they're not really on that hard at all. So I just slotted a wrench through here, over the sway bar, soldered on, pulled it, you know, it comes off easily. It's a little fiddly, but there's no need to really go under the car and anything like that. So the front one's out. For both rear ones, just use a small extension like this. 3 inches is fine, because the bracket that actually mounts it to the transmission is in the way of a wrench, which is, you know, about 1.5 inches wide. So yeah, just a little tip for the back ones there. And if it helps, prop your stabilizer link here with the spring there, and that will keep it risen and out of your way, so you have a lot more room to get those ones. So driver's side done. Now exactly the same for the passenger side. Now with all 4 mounting bolts removed, we've got the fun part of wiggling out the old mount now. So we just have to push the mount to the left of the video here to free it from the frame, and then we can sort of roll it out. We'll have to manipulate the stabilizer bar in order to give it the clearance it needs to be removed. So I recommend pulling out the mount from the passenger side, as it's a lot closer to us. Rotate it 90 degrees, just so it clears the bracket here, and then just pull it around the front and out of the vehicle. So if we inspect the old mount here, you can see it's absolutely shot. It's almost completely separated from the rubber itself. And that's what causes the violent shaking when the engine's under load. Now if it's always shaking, even at idle, you might find that this is torn off completely. So again, it's something you might not see off the car, because the cracks, you know, so well hidden in the car, it's hard to see, but once it's out, it's evident that it's absolutely shot. So it's a good thing we're replacing this now. So before we reinstall, just check your parts. Again, I got mine off a rear end collision, really good condition, so I got a good deal on that. It was again $8 like the front mount. I can link the part in the description below if you need it though. And yeah, just check the, you know, it looks roughly the same, it's going to go in. The last thing we want to do is put half of it in and realize it doesn't fit. So happy with that, we're going to get on with installing it. Now with these mounting bolts here, I'm just going to clean them up a little with a wire brush, because they're quite rusty and they've got a lot of stuff on the thread. So we're going to clean those up, and then we're going to get them in the car. Okay, so getting back this in, pretty much the opposite. The short side goes at the back of the car, so it goes in this way in terms of orientation. So we're just going to feed it in through the passenger side and start bolting it down. When we bolt it down, I'm going to use medium strength thread locker, so it's the blue one, and that will ensure they don't come undone due to vibration, just like the front mount. So the 4 down bolts, the mounting bolts, they're 37 foot-pounds, all 4 of them. Best way, just line them all up, get them all screwed down, and then you can crank them down. If you crank one down, it'll be hard to line up the other holes. So there's a torque spec for that. So now the through bolt, again medium strength thread locker, so it doesn't vibrate out. Then it's 81 foot-pounds of torque, so that's the torque spec. Now to get this in, it might not be lined up properly. The hole, you know, might have dropped. You can see mine, it's slightly not level there. So just use the jack, lift the engine up slightly. What happens is the frame can catch on the mount, so when you're jacking it's not moving. So in that case, just jack it a bit, take a screwdriver and put it through the hole, so through the through hole there. And once the screwdriver's in there, just wiggle it up and down, and that'll align the holes. If it's still not aligned, use the jack a bit more, use the screwdriver to wiggle it and let it settle. Eventually your holes will line up and you can put the through bolt straight through. So now the through bolt's in, we can put our stabilizer end links in. They are 48 foot-pounds. Just like taking them off, you'll need the Allen key here, the Allen wrench, to keep the bolt steady while you put the nut on. So once both stabilizer and links are back on, nicely bolted down, 48 foot-pounds, you're good to go. So that's the rear mount. We've done the front mount, and for the airbox mount, I've again linked it in the description below so you can check that out. So when replacing all 3, you'll probably drive like almost a brand new car. So let me know how you get on. Tools, parts, description below. Like and support the channel, it helps us out a lot. So thank you for watching, and good luck with yours.